This is the Racer electric bike. When you first look at it, you can tell it's built for both style and practicality. The bike has a really sleek black carbon steel frame, nothing flashy, just solid and modern. And what really caught my eye was how lightweight it feels for an e-bike. I had a bit of skepticism at first because a lot of electric bikes out there are either too bulky or just don't look comfortable for everyday use. But honestly, picking this up and wheeling it around is surprisingly easy for something with as much tech packed into it as this one. From my experience, the main thing people want from an electric bike is to know if it's actually strong enough to handle both daily commutes and a little adventure. The Racer electric bike checks a lot of those boxes. The motor peaks at 750 watts, which in normal terms just means it gives you some serious boost when you need it. It's got a top speed of 22 miles per hour, which is pretty exciting, but not so fast that a beginner would be nervous riding it. I took it out for a couple of test rides, just cruising around the neighborhood and then heading onto some gravel and light trails, and it handled both really well. The 21-speed Shimano gear system is another key feature. If you're new to bikes, gears basically help you adjust how easy or hard it is to pedal, depending on where you're riding. On flat city streets, you can shift into higher gears and really move. When you hit hills or rougher terrain, drop down a few gears and it feels effortless. The gear shifting on this bike is smooth. I did worry at first that, like with other e-bikes I've used, the electronics and gearing might not sync up well, but that's not an issue here. It's a traditional trigger shifter, and after a few rides you just get a feel for it. The display is pretty straightforward. Sometimes e-bikes come with displays that are hard to read, with too many numbers and modes, but this one just tells you what you need: speed, battery, and your pedal assist mode. Pedal assist is basically how much help the motor gives you when you pedal. There are 5 levels. Level 1 is just a little nudge, good for conserving battery, and level 5 is almost like you have someone pushing you along the whole way. If you're totally new to e-bikes, there's also a throttle. Just twist it and the motor does all the work. No pedaling needed. I tried going full throttle from a stop, and the acceleration is smooth, not jerky, and the motor is pretty quiet, which means you're not going to disturb your neighbors riding early in the morning. One thing I really value is comfort, especially if you plan on riding longer distances. Initially, I wasn't sure how the seat would feel because a lot of electric bikes skimp on the quality there. After a few rides, I can say the saddle is okay, but if you plan to go on longer trips, maybe invest in a gel seat cover or a better aftermarket saddle. The front suspension is excellent though. It soaks up bumps on gravel, curbs, or potholes in the road. For commuting over city streets that aren't always perfectly smooth, or heading off onto a trail, you definitely notice the difference. The tires are 26 by 2.1 inches. That means a good mix between road and light trail riding. You get a stable feel, but the bike doesn't come off as too heavy or hard to handle. I'm not a big person, but the adjustable seat made it easy for me to find a comfortable height. If you're taller or shorter, it's not tough to tweak things. I also appreciate how the bike comes mostly assembled. For someone like me, who's not a bike mechanic, the ability to get it out of the box, use the provided tools, and be on the road in less than an hour was a big relief. Battery life is usually the biggest concern for anyone considering an e-bike for regular use. The Racer comes with a 375 watt-hour removable battery, which is rated for about 40 miles on pedal assist and around 25 miles if you just use the throttle. I got pretty close to the advertised range on most trips. What I like is that the battery locks into the frame, but it's easy to remove to charge indoors. There's an included charger and a simple key lock system. The battery also charges in around 4 hours. It's perfect for overnight charging or topping off between uses. I've noticed a few things that could be improved. The front tire can rub against the pedals if you turn the bars really sharply. It's not a deal breaker, but something to be aware of, especially in tight spots. Build quality on the shifters and throttle are standard, but don't expect a premium feel like you'd get from higher-end bikes. Everything works reliably, but there's a bit of plastic feel in some parts. Nothing's broken on mine after plenty of rides though, and I haven't had to do any serious maintenance. As for safety, there's a front LED headlight and a rear reflector, which is great for late rides or low light conditions. The disc brakes provide solid stopping power and keep you feeling secure, even when going downhill. I always check brakes on any new bike before taking it out for a faster ride, and these work well. What's also nice is the max payload. It supports up to 350 pounds. So if you're carrying a backpack or extra gear, you won't feel like you're stressing the bike out. I had a few concerns about how tricky it would be to maintain, since some electric bikes end up being a headache when they need small adjustments. With this model, there really hasn't been much to do. The frame feels strong, and nothing squeaks or rattles. The removable battery means you're not tied to a specific charging spot and don't need a complicated routine. Just pop it out and take it inside. For anyone new to electric bikes, let me explain a few terms that come up. Throttle-only riding means you don't have to pedal at all. Twist the throttle and the motor does everything. Pedal assist is where you still pedal, but the motor adds power to make pedaling much easier. There are also modes to ride the Racer as a normal bike, no electric help at all, which is pretty important if you run out of battery or just want exercise. A neat feature is the walk assist mode, which gives a little push from the motor so you can walk the bike up a steep hill without struggling. From my experience, the Racer electric bike works best for people who want flexibility. Maybe you ride to work, then hit a trail on weekends, or just want the comfort of electric help on steep hills. It's lightweight enough to carry upstairs or load into a car, but strong enough to handle real roads and uneven paths. If you're like me and value a hassle-free setup, comfortable ride, and just enough power without feeling overwhelmed by the tech, this bike is a pretty solid choice. One last thing I always get asked is about assembly. The Racer comes about 90% assembled in the box, and with the included tools, it's genuinely easy to get the rest done yourself. In conclusion, the Racer electric bike has the key features I look for: solid range, lightweight build, full gear system, good suspension, reliable brakes, and a simple control setup. It's not perfect. The seat could be better, and a few parts could feel sturdier, but for the price and the performance, it's hard to find something more versatile. I'd recommend this for anyone who wants to try out electric bikes for commuting, city rides, and even light trails, while still being able to pedal manually if they want to work out. I will leave detailed information about the Racer electric bike in the comments for your reference. Thank you for watching.